Paid traffic, ads versus search engine optimization, organic. What wins? Let's talk about it here. I have a ton of experience with both, and if you've seen any of my other YouTube videos, you may know that I am eyeballs deep in this, spending $200,000 on organic blog content to build that SEO traffic for my online business. Now, on the flip side of that, I already spend a ton of freaking money every day on paid ads. I spend over 30 grand a day on paid ads. Most days, if we did an average over the last 6 months, it's probably a little bit over 30, probably in the low 30s. So say $30,000 a day on paid ads, and I'm sinking a lot of money into organic content, right? So what do I see as the ultimate winner? Well, let's talk about it here. Let's break it down. Put together some notes. I'm going to run through them and explain it and, well, share my anecdotes and stories as we go along. So first, SEO can be done without money. That is kind of the big win. You don't need to take money and sink it in to SEO or organic content publishing. Of course, that comes at the expense of your time. Time is money. There's that kind of saying, time is money. And that's what you invest to actually get organic SEO results. And I think that's why SEO is so popular, and that's why a lot of beginners like SEO and people just getting started in the business world really kind of flock and herd to the SEO. It can all be done without money. Of course, it comes at the expense of your time, but it takes time. With paid traffic, you put money in, you see what's happening. With SEO, you put money in, you don't actually know what's happening or if it will ever happen. And I think this is something that I probably should have made a whole slide for. I think this is a big cause of burnout. People get started on kind of a, I'm going to build a niche site, I'm going to build a blog, I'm going to build an authority site, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same thing. I'm going to build some type of online content. People get started on it, but they, go into it for a month or two, they don't see any result, and then they give up. And that's because SEO takes time. And you always hear, the saying or people say, you need to focus on one thing. You really need to focus. Well, I will tell you, it is really difficult to focus when you're not seeing any results and when you're not making any money. And when you are seeing something happen, even if it's just getting to break even, it's really easy to focus on that. Once you have something that actually makes money, it is really easy to focus on that. The focus problem occurs when no results are happening, and that often happens because SEO takes forever. It takes a long time. I don't even spell that right, but we all get the point, right? SEO takes a long time. With SEO, there is no directly traceable result. You cannot click a button and then come back and see what happens. You can kind of assume and infer results, but nobody ultimately knows what the algorithm is looking for and how the algorithm is performing. So you don't know if what you did for SEO is what actually made the impact or if it was some other factor entirely. And I see that a lot in SEO analysis is you can't really rule out external factors. People might say my traffic dropped. Well, is that a problem, because that's something you did, or is that just because Google's core algorithm updated and they ultimately determined that somebody else's content was better than yours? Okay. People might say my traffic increased. Okay, well, is that, again, because of the changes that you actually made? Or was that Google's algorithm just updated and your site was going up anyways, and your site was going to go up anyways regardless of whether you made the change, and maybe if you made no changes at all, your site would have went up further, right? SEO has no directly traceable result. And subsequently, well, not I was thinking I was going on to another slide here. We'll come back to this. My hope and pray investment in SEO. So that's what I'm calling my $200,000 that I'm spending in the next 3 months. And I will say it is taking longer than 3 months. It is, I don't want to say harder, but it's a lot more effort. And there's a lot more wheels turning and the process is going slower. I think all the written content will probably be done in about 5 months. It'll probably be 6 or 7 months by the time we actually get it all published. That's a whole nother video that I could make a topic on, but getting it formatted, published, and, really crispy and fine-tuned edited is taking a while. But anyways, that hope and pray investment, that $200,000, who knows when I'll see a return? I don't even know if it'll work. I mean, it's literally just hope and pray. I'm investing money in this. I'm going to follow the best practices, and I'm hoping and praying that Google subsequently rewards me with traffic. But with that organic traffic can be taken away at any time. Literally, it can be taken away at any time. It is less common if you are doing things by the book and following best practices and not doing anything gray hat or black hat like link building, or keyword stuffing your pages or redirecting or, oh, I don't know, doing some kind of weird load optimization to make your page load super fast, but it doesn't actually fully load at that time. Stuff like that. That can help it. That can increase the chances or decrease the chances that the traffic is actually taken away from you, but it does not guarantee it. There's countless examples out there if you surf the web and kind of browse around of people that had a website that was doing great and they're doing everything by the book, publishing awesome content, sinking all their time and money into it, and then it just gets poof whacked, 75% drop in traffic, and then subsequently their profit drops 75%, which is huge, right? So all the eggs are in one basket, and it's a basket that's basically owned by the Wizard of Oz, who's doing smoke and mirrors from behind a curtain, and you really don't actually know what is working or what's going to work or what's going to happen. That organic traffic can be taken away from you at any time. Now, there's things you can do to kind of use that organic traffic to capture your audience, build a list, build a Facebook group, build a YouTube channel, etc. All that stuff minimizes the risk, but it is very risky to really have all of your eggs in that one basket, and the organic traffic can be taken away from you. And something else I'll add is organic search results are getting less and less exposure. I think there is, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe there's a small decline in people actually using Google for search because people are finding content through other means, YouTube, Facebook, social media, and there's so much content out there just coming at people, they're not going out and looking for it anymore. Or at least that's a theory, right? But also Google is putting more ads at the top of the pages. They're figuring out how to drive more people into their ads. And they're also doing the snippets and stuff where they're keeping people in the Google platform as opposed to letting them get on your website. So all of that stuff is a very kind of big black eye to organic that I think not a lot of people really want to talk about. Okay, now let's talk about paid traffic. It gets you immediate data, win or lose. You can put something up, in say 72 hours to 96 hours, 3 to 4 days, whether you have a winner or you have a loser. And that means that you have to spend enough money on it. I see a lot of people saying, oh, I'm doing ad sets for $10 a day on Facebook. Yeah, $10 a day on Facebook to a developed nation, United States, UK, Canada, that is not going to get you a big enough sample size. You have to really be starting with $100 a day to really get a big enough sample size, but it gets you that immediate data, and you know that either A, your audience wants that offer, or B, they do not want that offer, And in some cases, if you can get to break even in that period of time, in that first 3 to 4 days, you've actually got a pretty solid product. From there, you can improve your creative, increase your ROI, and then on the back end, and this is real business stuff here, on the back end, then you can start negotiating with suppliers, right? You can get your pricing lower. Or you can, if you're selling some type of information, you can get the price that they pay higher. You can get your affiliate commissions higher. You can increase the order value or that actual customer value with upsells and back-end offers, etc. Right? So if you can get in, real quick to break even or pretty close to it with paid traffic, you've got a lot of room for improvement. And subsequently, now you're saying, okay, I'm at break even. People want this. My audience wants this offer. Now I can, focus on this and really stick to it. Or simply put, nobody wants this offer. That's something I see a lot of people doing. A lot of people that are kind of beginner marketers. I've kind of even made this mistake. I guess I shouldn't say it's limited to beginner marketers, but people people will run ads and their ads are just failing miserably, but they keep trying little things when fundamentally the audience just does not want what you have to sell, and you might as well just stop what you're doing and move on to a different offer, a different product to that audience, or shift gears to a totally different audience. I often say with paid ads, if you're just going to make a little change here and there, that's not going to move the needle, right? Changing your font size and color on your landing page, on something that's already losing money is not going to make a damn bit of difference. If you're getting a ton of conversions and getting a ton of ultimate results and making money with that, and then you're ultimately pumping those conversions through and getting hundreds of them a day, yeah, then you can start experimenting with little font and color changes, and maybe you'll find something that increases you a couple % here or there. That's a winner, right? And then you can do that. But when you're ultimately losing money. It's a total waste of time. So anyways, whole lot of words to say paid traffic gets you immediate data, win or lose, so you know either A, I can stick to what I'm doing, or B, move on to something else because it's not working. Paid traffic is testable. Okay, with SEO, you can't really test things. Like I said, you do something and months later something may or may not happen, and then you have no idea if it's ultimately what you had done that caused that result. With paid traffic, you can literally set up a split test and control everything and control your controls, and you can establish variance. See, okay, this works, this doesn't work. Paid traffic is scalable. If you have something that's winning in paid traffic, all you got to do to get more of that, to get more wins, more conversions, more sales, whatever it ultimately is, click a button. Increase that daily spend. That's all you got to do. With organic, you really can't do that. Publish more content? I don't know. I mean, you can do that stuff again, but you don't know if that's actually going to help or not. You cannot scale organic content, at least not for conversions. Right. Oops, I'm gonna put that in there twice. Let's delete that. Actually, it doesn't really matter because I'm not gonna save this thing long term. With paid traffic, you have multiple platform options, all right? So going back to one of these up here, organic traffic can be taken away from you at any time. That's because it's solely basically reliant on Google or whatever platform you build it on. You know, if you're really savvy with organic, or you get success on one platform, yeah, you should start leveraging it up and looking for ways to kind of, build your audience on another platform too. But with paid traffic, you have multiple platform options. So if you can be profitable on one paid traffic platform, you can basically be profitable on any other paid traffic platform. Like some people might say, well, Facebook is cheap and pay-per-click is expensive. Yeah, that is true on a per-click basis, but you'll find that when you get into pay-per-click, you're converting at a much, much higher rate. With Facebook, you might need 50 clicks to get a conversion. With pay-per-click, when you dial that in, you can convert 1 out of 3, 1 out of 4 is not unrealistic. Literally, 1 out of 3 is not unrealistic in your conversion rate. So you might be paying more per click, but ultimately, that conversion rate is much higher, and that makes up for it. So on that note, guys, that's my breakdown of SEO, organic traffic versus paid advertising. There is a time and place for both of them, but personally, I think people should direct more time to paid traffic. All right, let me know what you guys think in the comments below.